Hey guys, so at this station I want to take a minute to review a couple of things about enzymes as well as how to break down complex questions. So I want to start with number 5. The first thing I always do is bracket my question. It says predict which will most likely happen. I'm actually going to just go down to my answer choices to see if I can figure it out. It says all of the samples will turn blue. Alright, if we're changing color, if something is changing color, that means that a reaction is occurring. I know that if a reaction is happening, then there has to be an enzyme present. So enzyme present. If I go, you can't see anything that I'm writing. Okay, if I go to my table, I'm going to see if there's enzyme presence in all of my samples. I see that it is actually present in samples 1 through 3. That means samples 1 through 3 should be turning blue because there is an enzyme present. All right, all of the samples were turned blue. Well, if sample 4 has no enzyme, then no reaction is going to occur, and it will not turn blue because no reaction is happening. So this is false. All right, only samples 1 and 2, I know that's false because sample 3 will also turn blue. Samples 1, 2, and 3 will turn blue, with sample 1 turning blue the most quickly. Sample 1 has the most enzyme. I know if I increase the amount of enzyme, then my reaction will happen faster. So my reaction would increase, which means go faster, right? Because the role of an enzyme is to increase the speed. So this seems to be my answer. I can double check by looking at D. It's saying sample 4 will turn blue more quickly. Sample 4 never turns blue, so that's false. My answer is C. Flip your page. All right, this question is a little bit more complex. This is about pH. I want to review specifically pH. Some of us got this yesterday and some of us didn't. We saw a graph that said pH on the x-axis, and rates of reaction. Rxn is reaction. You saw a graph that looked like this. Okay, I know that an enzyme is most effective when it is working most quickly. Rate simply means the speed of a reaction. So up here, this is when it's working the fastest. I can line up the peak of its activity when it's going the fastest with my pH, and this would give me my optimum pH, or the pH that it works best at. Knowing that information, we are going to answer number 6. I'm going to bracket my question. It says, which would you expect to occur based on the data of this graph? All right, I'm going to try to read my answer choices. I know the data is telling me that time is on the x-axis and pH is on my y-axis. My answer choice is saying there would be a decrease in the amount of fatty acids in the bloodstream after day 5. I have no idea what it's talking about, so I need to go back and read. All right, this graph above shows the effects of specific medication on stomach pH. pH is just a measure of how acidic or basic something is. It says there's an enzyme. Anytime you see the word enzyme, you should write, it is a protein. Okay? It speeds up a reaction, and it lowers energy. All right, there's an enzyme called amylase. I know that this is an enzyme because it ends in ACE. Anything that ends in ASE, not OSE, ASE is an enzyme. All right, this particular enzyme breaks down starch. I know that starch is a carb, and the monomers of carbs are sugars. It also tells me that amylase functions best at a pH of 6.65. So that would really be like its optimum pH if I were to look at this graph. If this were a graph of amylase, my pH would be 6.65 right here. Okay, so if I find 6.65 on my graph, all right, this is my pH of 6.65. This is where it works the best. All right, if I go through my answer choices now, there would be a decrease in the amounts of fatty acids in the bloodstreams after day 5. Well, I don't know why it's talking about fatty acids, because carbs are broken down into sugars. So this is not correct. Fatty acids are part of lipids, not carbs. So anywhere I see fatty acids, that's not going to be right. I can immediately eliminate choices A and B. All right, there would be a decrease in the amount of monosaccharides. Mono is 1 and saccharide is sugar. Okay. If amylase functions best at a pH of 6.65, but after day 5, this pH is decreasing, just like over here, That means that this enzyme is not going to work as fast as it normally does because it's not in its optimal conditions. Therefore, the rate at which it's breaking down carbs into sugar is going to decrease. Therefore, I would see a decrease in the amount of monomers that would be in the bloodstream. Therefore, my answer is C. You should be annotating like this on all of your questions, especially for all of the questions, but get to work on the rest of the station. Have fun.